Sanchez with KADYTV.com. We are broadcasting from the Cal State University Channel Islands campus. We're here for the Hank Lacayo dedication. It's funded by a $300,000 grant from Southern California Edison. Almost anyone who's anyone is here, or everyone who's anybody is here. So you'll see in the background we've got supervisors here. We have Sheriff-elect Jeff Dean here. We have also Jeff Garrell, who is an elect. He'll be sworn in January. So it's quite the night for the county, for the community, and of course for Cal State University Channel Islands. We're waiting for President Dick Rush, who's going to be our first guest, and we'll be with you just in moments.
How are you?
Both. We are with President Richard Rush, who is the president here at Cal State University Channel Islands, and this is for the launch of the Hank Lacayo Center?
Institute for Community and Workforce Studies. This is a great day. We're celebrating Hank, who is a friend to all of us in Ventura County and indeed nationally, but it's also a great day for the university that he's allowed us to use his name in association with us.
Now, Southern California Edison is intimately involved in this evening as well, right? And
yes.
In the launch?
Southern California Edison is one of our cornerstones in the establishment of the Institute because they have given us a lead gift. Without that kind of gift, we wouldn't be able to establish this institute.
And what do you foresee the Institute doing for Cal State Channel Islands?
We're going to work with the community to develop the potential that the region has for workforce. And it will do research, it'll do teaching, it'll expose students through internships and other means to the potential of careers and workforce here in Ventura County.
And when do you foresee the launch being completed?
Oh, it'll be an evolutionary matter because we will start it now, but it's going to take us a while to get up to speed because we have to put everything in place. But tonight's the night of celebration.
And it looks like you pulled out all the stops because anybody who's everybody is here, or everyone is anybody.
They're all here for Hank. I mean, despite what anyone's political background is, Hank is a friend to all of us, and this is a tribute to him.
Which is lovely. Thank you, President Rush.
Thank you, Maria.
We'll be right back. The man of the hour, the man of the moment, the man of the evening, Mr. Hank Lacayo is here with us. Thank you so much for taking the time. What an honor for you. What an amazing life you've led and an amazing career you've had, and how gracious and generous you've been to the community here in Ventura County.
Well, it's a little bit overwhelming, and it's not really the name that's important for this institute. It's what it's going to do in the future. That's the important thing.
And why did this mean something to you? What did this speak to you?
Well, it means that we're combining things at this institute that have never been done before in academia. I think it's probably going to be one of a kind as the programs are developed. And it sort of puts together many things that I've been involved in my 50 or 60 years of activities and dealing with the public in all sectors of the public society or whatever. It's a combination of many things. And I'm really overwhelmed by it because usually names are put on buildings or institutes when they're gone. And I'm kind of a little bit overwhelmed over the fact that I'm still alive, and I still hope I can continue doing things on behalf of people that need help.
And you know what? It couldn't have gone to a more gracious, more humble, more involved man. And you have been so kind to our community and obviously to our world. But the fact that you are so humbled is really overwhelming, I think. I mean, you know what the legacy it is that you've left, and now here you've got it in your own life, huh?
Well, I'm glad somebody's noticing, but I never do things for recognition, but it does help. It's like the fuel for the engine to keep you doing what you've been doing all your life.
Now, you've been a friend of both Cal State University Channel Islands and Cal Lutheran, is that not correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you obviously are a huge proponent of higher education.
Yes, I am. Actually, I'm a proponent of education at all levels, but in particular the upper and then also the community colleges. I serve on the Citizens Advisory for the Ventura County Community College System. and that's a citizens oversight committee that makes sure that the money that was passed by the voters on bond, it's a brick and mortar money to improve the campuses, 3 campuses in Ventura County. That's another part that I really enjoy working with, seeing these young people enjoy good surroundings that makes them feel better about being where they're at in a house of institutional learning.
And 2 of my 4 children are in the community college system, so I am also a believer.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Anything else that you'd like to add?
None other than I'm really hopeful that people take to heart what is happening in the education system in our state. It's very important that we pay attention to that. There's so much need for many things, but most importantly, we need to start producing an educated workforce. No matter whether you're going to be a professional or whatever your desires take you, we have to pay attention to how we educate our children beyond just graduating from high school. So hopefully we can start talking about that, and with so much need for other things, it's kind of hard to be asked to divide scarcity. But there's a way to do things, I believe, if you put your mind to it.
Well, obviously you've done it, and if you can write the primer on it, I'd be the first one to read it.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Mr. Hank Lacayo, the man of the hour and the man of the moment and the man of many. Take care.
You're very kind. Thank you.
We're continuing our broadcast from Cal State University Channel Islands at the Hank Lacayo launch, and we're pleased to have the president of Southern California Edison, John Fiedler, with us. Did I do it right?
You did it right,
yeah.
Thank you
I'm notorious for mispronouncing, so I'm glad I did that.
You got it right.
Now tell us, why did Southern California Edison feel that Cal State Channel Islands was important and this Lacayo launch was important to the community?
Well, Maria, that's a good question. Of course, Cal State Channel Islands is in our service territory, one of the Cal State campuses we serve. The Hank Lacayo Institute will meet all of our objectives. It's an educational, it's an environmental, and it develops the workforce, so it's right in our wheelhouse.
Now, will you provide input in terms of curriculum or faculty or outreach?
I think we'll work with the Institute in any way that they would like us to. They're going to have an energy efficiency lab, an energy conservation lab. I think we'll be intimately involved with that. We have a lot of experience with energy efficiency.
Now, do you have something to do with certain majors along that line?
No, the Institute is going to be a link between the business school and the workforce development activities here at the university, so we'll fit right in that space.
And is there anything that you'd like aspiring people coming up in the world to know about Southern California Edison, what you do for our community, what you do for our economy?
Well, Southern California Edison is the largest utility in Southern California. We serve Central and Southern California, about 4 million people, and it's a good place to work. People that come out of the Hank Lacayo Institute will be well trained, prepared for a career with Edison.
I bet they will.
Yeah.
The fast tracks, if you will. Well, thank you for your time, sir. And thank you so much for what you've done for our community.
Thank you.
John Fiedler. Continuing our coverage at Cal State University Channel Islands with the Lacayo launch, and we have Karen Cochran with us. Karen represents the governor's office, and you're here tonight to read a proclamation?
Yes, absolutely. The governor wanted me to come here and personally deliver this message from the governor to Henry, so I'm going to read it right now. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone gathered to celebrate the launch of the Henry Hank Lacayo Institute of Workforce and Community Studies. With such a diverse and tremendous workforce in California, it is important to address all the issues concerning our workers. With the 8th largest economy in the world, California workers are a key driving force behind our fantastic success. We need to conduct research and facilitate communication for a more effective and sustainable workforce. The Henry L. Hank Lacayo Institute promotes this discussion of increased efficiency and more environmental sensibility. I extend a big hand for your dedication and tireless efforts in improving California's scholarly studies of these community issues. Please accept my best wishes for a memorable celebration and every continued success. Sincerely, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was lovely, Karen. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And such a momentous occasion. Appreciate your time. Someday when I grow up, I want to be able to have all these commendations here. These are commendations from every facet, it looks like, in our community, from Congress people to the governor, to the mayor, to the Senate, to another congressional, another assembly. Wow. Tony Strickland, Audra Strickland, Fran Pavley, Lois Capps, Stan Mantu, so that's from education, Dr. Holdren, and we should all be so lucky. So what an inspiration he is for our community. We're here with Rudy Estrada. Rudy is going to be the director of? Executive director of the Hank Lacayo Institute.
That's correct.
Tell me, Rudy, what brings you to this point in your life? What is your history?
Well, I've been teaching for about 31 years, and I've been teaching here since day one. And I had the Small Business Institute. So these collective energies lend themselves very strongly to the Hank Lacayo Institute, and we thought strategically it would be a good thing to roll together.
And when do you actually start in that capacity?
We've actually started some months ago.
Really?
Today is the formal launch, but we've been working towards performance metrics for the last 2 or 3 months.
So how excited are you?
Well, I'm very excited, actually. It brings a lot of new resources to the local community, but most importantly, it addresses a lot of the needs that students have now and in the future.
And what practical application do you think the Institute will have for the students?
Well, it'll broaden resource base in terms of exposure to real-life situations, immerse students in executive positions as under our mentorship program. It opens up telecommunication lab resources, environmental lab, etc. There's a number of various resources we're bringing to the university with the Hank Lacayo Institute.
So congratulations, and you've been here, you said, since day one. So
since
nice,
day one,
nice
yes.
matriculation for you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Enjoying it very much.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.
Thank you, Dawn, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special occasion. As Dawn said, this is a milestone in the life of the university. It's one of those moments that will define us not only now, but in the future as well. As I look around the room and see so many of you who were able to join us this evening, an equal number was not able to join us because of other commitments, but they have sent their regards because no one wants to be absent at a moment when we recognize and thank Hank Lacayo for all that he means to each and all of us. This evening, we are honored to have with us a great number of elected officials and representatives of organizations, both nonprofit, statewide, countywide, citywide, and otherwide. Hank reaches across an incredible spectrum. He has the ability to reach out and touch the humblest among us and the greatest among us. He has known presidents of the United States and dined with them in the White House. He has known laborers among us who count him as his friend as well. So tonight, with your indulgence, I will simply thank all of the elected officials who are here this evening without identifying you by name because there are so many of you. But I would invite everyone to visit the table that is here in the front because there are proclamations and expressions of appreciation and congratulations for Hank and Leah and their family. so please take a moment before you leave to stop by. This evening is the launch of the Henry L. Hank Lacayo Institute for Workforce and Community. Why is it so named? Because several years ago, our Faculty Senate passed a resolution and a recommendation to me that we establish a workforce then called Labor and Community Institute to supplement the work of the faculty and the students in the classroom. We looked at that and decided in 2 steps that we would move forward. The first step included changing the name from labor to workforce for 2 reasons. The first being that the legislature, in its wisdom, frowns upon the term labor and was trying to close an institute at Berkeley so named. It didn't seem to be wise to start another one at that time. But more importantly, we looked at workforce as a wider definition, as something that would encompass horizons beyond that of the term labor, which might have a narrower connotation. The second step included Hank's willingness to have his name associated with California State University Channel Islands and this institute. When I asked him if he would accept this association, he initially said, no, as Hank does, no. And I said to him, okay, I take that for a yes, and so we'll move forward on this. The task force on the establishment of the Institute recommended to me unanimously, and with the support of the provost, came forward with the recommendation that we name the Institute after Hank. And why? Because there is no one that I know of, and perhaps no one that you know of, who is more committed to the value of workforce and the honorable status of labor than Hank Lacayo. In addition, his perspective goes beyond the narrow perspective of any one discipline. It involves the quality of life in communities for everyone, that people should have a workforce that enables them to have a quality of life for their families, for their children, and for their grandchildren. This marriage, then, of workforce and community is what Hank has dedicated his life to. In essence, he has dedicated his life to us. And so it seemed not only a natural movement, but one that had a certain inexorability about it, to name our Workforce and Community Institute with Hank's name on it. And so tonight we are launching that with the support of Southern California Edison, which has given us a $300,000 grant to be one of the cornerstones, and with expected support from others coming from Verizon, from AT&T, and from the gas company, among others. But tonight, we celebrate the launch and we celebrate Hank. A few moments ago, I asked all of our elected officials who are here present to allow me to pass over their individual presence, but I'm going to ask for one further favor, and that is that you allow the representative of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, Karen Cougarin, the Deputy Director for Community Liaison Office in Southern California, to bring the governor's greetings to Hank and his family. Karen?
Thank you. The governor asked me to come here this evening to deliver a personal message from him to you, and it is as follows, without the accent. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone gathered to celebrate the launch of the Henry L. Hank Lacayo Institute of Workforce and Community Studies. With such a diverse and tremendous workforce in California, it is important to address all the issues concerning our workers. With the 8th largest economy in the world, California workers are a key driving force behind our fantastic success. We need to conduct research and facilitate communications for a more effective and sustainable workforce. The Henry L. Hank Lacayo Institute promotes the discussion of increased efficiency and more environmental sustainability. I extend a big hand for your dedication and tireless efforts in improving California's scholarly studies of these community issues. Congratulations, Hank. Please accept my best wishes for a memorable celebration and every continued success. Sincerely, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you, Karen, and please thank the governor for us as well. Well, you came here this evening to honor a special person, so it's time that we ask that special person, whom I call friend as one of the highest accolades I can imagine, to come forward and address us. Hank, the podium is yours.
Are you talking to me? Oh my God, I'm really overwhelmed. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, boy, I got tears in my eyes. You know, I'm at the age where I have to write it down. I think I missed my place. This is an overwhelming happening in my long life. It is indeed a great honor for me to receive this recognition. However, having an institute with my name is not the important thing. The real importance of the institute is what it pretends to do is noted by President Rush and probably mentioned by the governor's letter. The real importance of the institute is what it pretends to do, and I want to paraphrase a word that's in the, I believe, the program that you have before you. It's a living laboratory with a broad set of challenges faced by cities, agriculture, the service sector, light industry, the United States military, utilities, and much more. And the interaction between the workforce and the community is very, very important. I do believe, Dr. Rush, that this institute will be one of a kind in academia. And I want to thank Southern California Edison for stepping up to help validate the importance of this institute and by being among the first to do so in the public sector. Thank you, Edison. In continuing my remarks, I'm going to be guided by something I heard in church some years ago. The fewer the words, the better the prayer. After a long career working on behalf of others, I can honestly say that when you are an activist, you get more than you give. There's an almost spiritual satisfaction that comes from working with people who deeply care about their community, their society, and their world. I have been blessed over and over meeting such people, which include, and I find much comfort in knowing so, the professionals that make up the team at this university. Thank you, Dr. Rush, and thank you, Provost Don Newman. Thank you, Selena Zacarias, Professor Rudy Estrada, the university advancement team, members of the university's teaching staff, for doing the heavy lifting and making the establishment of the CSUCI Institute a dream come true, especially for a guy like myself. And I want to pay special thanks to a professor here that was in the beginning helping us get started, and that was Professor Barbara Thornton. Are you here, Barbara? There you are. And last but not least, I want to thank my lifetime partner and wife, Leah, for being there with me all the way. family is here. Kind of the cold that's going on, or flu, kind of negate some of them not to be here, but I do feel very, very proud that my two sons are here, Jacob and Josh, who Josh is in San Francisco, and he called me this afternoon, and he says, Dad, I'm going to miss your event. I'm sure you're going to be honored, you're going to feel good and all that, but I'm sorry I'm going to miss it. So as usual, he shows up and he says, I'm here. My two daughters, Heather and Jill. And now this is really overwhelming. I want to thank all of my friends, colleagues for being here this evening. I really appreciate it. Seeing you all here is like a gas to the engine to keep going, and I think you've done that to me tonight, so I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Thank you very much. President Rush, again, what else can I say other than muchas gracias? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Hank. This really is an evening of an outpouring of respect and affection for you and gratitude for all that you have done for this community and for all of us. And we mean it sincerely by our presence and by our words. And this institute will carry on your legacy. To the degree that it is successful, it will depend upon the inspiration that you have given us. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce the Executive Director of the HLI, who is with us this evening, and that's Professor Rudy Estrada. Rudy, would you stand and be recognized? And now it's my privilege to introduce the President of Southern California Edison, Mr. John Fiedler. John heads one of the nation's largest electric utilities. Previously, he was Senior Vice President of SCE's Regulatory Policy and Affairs, and in that role he was also responsible for the utility's Environmental Affairs reorganization. In October of 2005, he was elected President of the company. He has been with us from the beginning of this effort to launch the HLI, and on behalf of the university, I want to thank John Fiedler. Please join me in welcoming.
President Rush, and this really is a special night. 2 years ago, just about 2 years ago, I had lunch in President Rush's office with Hank and Dick, and we talked about how we might partner with the university to bring this institute into being. And what I found out in those 2 years, when you combine a university and a utility, it doesn't happen fast, but it will happen. And I'm very proud that we were able to find our way to contribute $300,000 over the next 3 years to support the Institute. And people ask, well, why did you do this? And there's several reasons, but the 2 or 3 that come to mind are, number one, it's Hank. And I think we all love Hank and appreciate his contribution, and setting an institute up in his name that's going to do the things that we talked about, I think is the number one reason. Number two, of course, Cal State Channel Islands is one of our best customers, and it's good to partner with customers. And third, this is kind of right in our wheelhouse of energy efficiency, because we're going to have a conservation lab as part of this institute. We're going to be connecting it with the small business program here at the university, and we're going to be integrating it with the workforce development activities. And we hire about 1,500 people a year, and I'll guarantee you that the graduates of the Hank Lacayo Institute will be top of the list for Edison hirees. So I don't want to forget the most important thing, and that is the check. So I think you're the right one to give it to. Thank you, John. I'll take this So we look forward to, I think it's made out of the Institute, Hank. We look forward to partnering with the Institute, and it's our intent that, I mean, the money is nice, but what is really important to us is the partnership and the collegiality and the way we come together, and we're going to stay involved in the Institute with our people, with our support, and be part of the community up here as we are in all the areas that we serve. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John, and thank you again to Southern California Edison for your generosity and your vision in seeing what this institute can mean. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that constitutes our formal program for the evening. Please let me welcome you once again to stay. Talk with Hank, Leah, the family. Please take some time to look at these wonderful proclamations, but also enjoy the hospitality and the friendship that this room this evening represents. Thank you for coming to Cal State Channel Islands. Please come back.